This is the Discover Seward County podcast, where we explore the people and places that make Seward County great. Hey, welcome back to DSC. Today we got the chance to sit down and talk with Collin from the Chamber of Commerce here in Seward County. They're actually not just the chamber, they do a lot of other things too, economic development, all sorts of things. But we got to have a chance to chat with him a little bit about the nature of the work they do in Seward County. Seward County is not huge by any stretch or any normal metric, but man, they're doing some big things. And Seward County has not... I mentioned this to Collin. It's a unique thing in that it's not just a suburb. Lincoln is close. It's a bigger town. There's a lot more opportunities, but Seward has kept its own identity and its own sort of economic and professional identity, which is a really interesting thing when a lot of other towns would have gone the other way. And so we talked a little bit about that and some of the really interesting things they've got going on to try to help make Seward, help bring some, help Seward progress and help Seward kind of retain that. So it was a good conversation. Hopefully you can find something interesting. And if you're in the area, it's a great way to connect. Just go, he mentions the website, jump on their website and find all the different opportunities that are here. So I'll stop talking. Here's Collin. I don't have a lot of free time, but even if I did, I don't know. It's a generational thing. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, so I want to start zooming out a little bit. I have a big I've been very impressed with what you guys do. Real G's move in silence, right? Like you guys do not call a lot of attention to yourself, but you guys and your crew, you guys do so much. Here's how I will put this. It would have been very, very easy for Seward to just become a bedroom community of Lincoln. Right. And obviously we still have a ton of people that work there and commute and whatnot, but Seward really has retained a sense of its own identity and its own, not even just identity, like there's economic identity, right? Like there's a lot of stuff happening here. You guys are doing a lot. How, in your experience, how has that happened? How or why have you guys made that concerted effort to say, we're going to keep focusing on like growing all of the economic opportunities and all of these other things that are happening in Seward when it would have been so much easier. I'm sure inertia would have been so much easier just to take it like, oh, well, we'll just be a suburb.
Yeah, no, it comes from people who are invested in the community. They've seen the community. It goes back, years and years ago. You think of even like with the start of the 4th of July, it was people who saw something special in Seward and said, this place is special to me. I want to show other people why it's special, why you should, invest your time, money into Seward, why you should stay here, why you should come visit Seward. We have lots of different people, who just see the gold mine that's Seward and want to open it up and share it with the world and try to get more people to come to Seward, grow in that healthy way.
Nice. Are you a native? Are you from Seward or where's home?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually kind of grew up outside of B for a while and then moved to David City when I was in 6th grade. So Seward was always kind of close to my heart, always close to home. I went to the movie theater a lot growing up. I saw lots of movies there, went to the Walmart, just also, definitely remember being in Seward quite a bit growing up. My dad used to work in Seward at Jones Bank. So yeah, Seward's always been close to my heart. So when the opportunity came to come back, I was ready, willing, and able.
That's great. That's awesome. I guess what's it like working on the economic development and everything that you guys are doing in Seward County? What are generally day to day? What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, no, that's lots of different things. Every day is something so different. You're never stagnant, just doing the same thing day in and day out. We're literally making progress and change happen every single day, whether that's a big step forward, submitting a big grant or receiving positive news on one of our projects, or whether it's just something small, whether it's starting a project, taking that first step. Every day there's something new and exciting that we're trying to push forward, whether that's events, reaching another member, or these economic development projects that we have worked on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever have that sort of internal or external feedback where people are saying like, it's just a small town, what are you doing?
I think it can be easy to fall into that. Yeah, like kind of like you were saying earlier, of like why put so much effort into just a small town? But it's like trying to have that balance of having lots of variety, having things. You don't always have to go into Lincoln for work. A lot of people do, but you can actually live and work in Seward County, not just live.
Well, I think that's really great to see an organization that is kind of as vital as you guys are with the stuff that you're doing, adopt a growth mindset. And I think that sort of radiates, right? Like there's a lot of talented, smart, interesting people in Seward County, and have the foresight to say, well, let's work a little bit harder to keep them here. Let's work a little bit harder to tap into the resources that we have instead of just throwing up your hands and conceding. I think that's great. That's great to see. I mean, growth mindset's kind of a buzzword, but it is a real thing, right? To say like, well, we don't have to concede this. We can actually grow in whatever way we can here. So I think that's commendable. The work you guys are doing, you really, I think you're helping shape Seward for the long term.
Yeah, we're in this interesting spot right now where this up and coming generation, it's like, where are they going to go? Are they going to just live in Seward and work in Lincoln, or can they get more involved in the community, in the town? To use another kind of Jonathan quote, progress moves at the speed of trust, and the chamber has worked really hard to try to intentionally be involved in as much as we can, strategically so, but just be involved in as much as we can, because if we are showing the efforts, we're showing that we have the best interest, which we do, the best interest for the county at heart. How do you not want to walk with us, if you will?
Right. No, absolutely. No, and then the infrastructure is growing and all of that stuff is growing, right? And it doesn't have to be meteoric. I think we have been maybe a little bit disillusioned by these tech unicorn startup things that once you actually start peeling back the veil now, it was never sustainable growth anyway. I'm wondering, do you guys have, what are some misconceptions about kind of what the chamber does? Or like I said, you guys are very good about demonstrating, and like you can see the progress, but you're also not showy about it. So I'm sure you guys have some, what are some misconceptions you've come up against?
One of the big misconceptions is just that we do know everything, and that we do kind of have like a little bit of knowledge about everything. We lovingly like to refer to ourselves as the human Google of Seward County, where we'll get a call about anything and everything. We got a call asking about the fair, and it's like, well, here's the fair people. You can talk to them. We got a call, we got so many time capsule calls. I think somehow it got misconstrued for a while that we actually had the time capsule items, and we're like, nope, we do not have the time capsule items. Here is the number to call for that, so you can actually get your stuff back. We are not holding on to all the letters and all that.
Interesting.
And sometimes we do even get calls asking for Seward, Alaska, and asking about Seward, Alaska.
You do not.
We do. Yes. I got a call that a guy was looking to do some fishing in Seward, Alaska, and he was asking about it. And that was the first Seward, Alaska call I had. And then I was like, are you looking for Seward, Alaska? He's like, yeah, where are you? We're Seward, Nebraska. Okay. And yeah, I think over my time at the chamber answering the phones, I've gotten at least 4 or 5 calls about Seward, Alaska.
That is hilarious to me. What else you got cooking?
Yeah, so the Seward County Young Professionals is something that we started about a year ago, actually now. That's ages 21 to 40-ish. We use that ish very loosely because we say if there's a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old who feels like they really identify what the mission of Seward County Young Professionals is, or someone who's 41, we welcome anybody and everybody in, blue collar, white collar, stay-at-home parents. We welcome them in. When we were restarting the Young Professionals group before that, there were these conversations of people were really liking their job here in Seward County, or they liked, where they lived here in Seward, but they were looking for something outside of Seward, right? I found this in myself. My wife and I, in college, we had something every night of the week where, you go to this thing, but you work 8 to 5, 9 to 5. You come home, you're like, well, I don't have homework. What am I doing now? You don't always have that built-in kind of network and fun events that college has. So that's something that Skip's kind of hoping to do, is just get people's foot in the door with volunteerism and civic engagement in Seward. So we're always looking for new members, it's $20 for the entire year upon sign up. So for like today, if someone were to sign up, on August 29th, their membership would go all the way till the next August 29th in 2026. So people will get the full year's worth out of their membership. They can call the chamber if they're interested in being a member, or we have a Facebook page, which we post on pretty frequently for all upcoming events. So I would take a look at that. And so the membership, we want to get people involved in the member, to be a member of SCIP. There are some different member perks. For SCIP, for example, if you come to the coffee and convos and you're a member of the SCIP, you get your coffee for free. So that's a nice little perk, or some discounted tickets to our larger events that we will have access to the speaker series, things like that. There's a wide variety of benefits that we have as a part of being a SCIP member. So,
I'm interested in the professional development side of it. What do you guys like? Have you had much feedback from, like, because we're kind of different parts of the same generation. So but I'm like at that phase of life where we've got 2 kids, both in school. They're running around to all their different stuff. So very different phase of life. So I'm kind of disconnected from your part of our generation. If I'm not even sure if we're technically in the same generation. I don't know. I don't care. My question anyway is, what is kind of your generation, your cohort, looking for in the way of professional development? Because that's a very broad term, and it's hard. It's hard when you are out of school or whatever and you're into the workforce. All of a sudden there's a ton of skills that we don't get taught.
Yeah, absolutely. So this might kind of fall into that professional development category, but on the membership form, we always ask at the end, what are you looking to get out of the group? What do you want? What do you want to see? And almost every single person has put networking, opportunities, networking events. People are just looking to connect with each other. That's something that I've heard that the previous SCIP group had, is you just made these connections with different people that you otherwise, one, wouldn't have. Yeah. And then 2, from those connections, there are different opportunities that come up. So, have come up, and that spurned from the different connections and networking opportunities. So that's something that we're looking to do, is what does that look like? What will get people actually together to network and converse and just exchange ideas and concepts and goals? And then how can we make that happen? So that's something that I've really seen that we're going to try to tap into soon, is like, what does a networking event look like, and what will actually get people connected?
That's great. I mean, one of the things, right, sociologists and everything that, like, all the kinds of studies that are coming out now is like loneliness is an epidemic, and it can definitely be true when you start your professional life, or all of a sudden you're kind of siloed, right? Like, I have all of these responsibilities now, or I'm, my schedule, my life has changed dramatically. And so it's hard. It can be hard to find that kind of baked in community that you have when you're younger. So I think that doesn't surprise me. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah. The other big thing that we have coming up on the topic of young professionals is the Connecting Young Nebraskans Conference. So that is a 1-day conference with young professionals from all across Nebraska, all across the state, are going to come together here to Seward, Nebraska, at the newly renovated Civic Center on Friday, September 26th. It's a 1-day conference, so there's going to be panels, breakout sessions, keynote speakers. There's going to be a talk on the working genius. There's going to be a talk on photography. So just a wide variety of topics and conversations. But again, talking about those connections and networking, just opportunities to get to know people from across the state, both in your fields, but then also maybe not in your fields. So we're really excited for that conference. That's coming up on Friday, September 26th. It is the 10th year that we've had it, that the conference has happened. It's been an every other year conference, so we're really excited to host that in Seward. If you're following that young professional category, I would highly, highly encourage you to register for the conference. It'll be a great opportunity. But the other thing that's kind of fun that goes with that is the night before we have what we're calling the Downtown Progressive Dinner. So it's the pre-summit social. So anybody who is attending the conference can sign up for this pre-summit social, which is the progressive dinner to showcase downtown Seward. So we have 5 different locations that people will travel to. They'll get their drink from Red Path. They will get a side at the Squire Ward's Beer Garden. Then they'll go to La Casina. and then they'll go to spare time, and then they'll finish the night at Bottle Rocket, and then have some root beer floats with Bottle Rocket root beer and What's the Scoop ice cream. So it'll be a really fun time with both music and just lots of great food. But so that's for young professionals and those. So we split up the downtown progressive dinner into different groups just to not overwhelm the businesses, have a whole bunch, over 100 people come all at once, right? So the people who are attending the summit, they will be in the first two groups, but the last two groups, we open it up to the community. So we highly encourage anybody and everybody in Seward County to attend and register for this downtown progressive dinner. You can register at the chamber website, cultivatesewardcounty.com. You just scroll down a little bit and you can get to the page, because it'll truly just be a fun time for people in Seward, one, just to get to see and walk to some of the different businesses, but then and also appreciate the local food. But again, just have a fun time, get to know each other, spend your Thursday night here in downtown Seward. So that progressive dinner or the pre-summit social is Thursday, September 25th. So
very cool. Is the summit sort of the same age demographic, anywhere from young to 40-ish?
Yes. Yeah, the demographics are the same. So
very good. Very good. Well, very cool, man. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being willing to chat. Thank you for everything you guys are doing to help Seward County keep growing and retain. And we really appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me on. Listen to the podcast every episode. So it's been fun to hop on. You guys are also doing great work. Again, the podcast, the chamber, these different efforts, all to try to make Seward County better, whatever that looks like. I think we all have the same goal more than we realize. It's just being able to concentrate those goals and try to do whatever we can do to grow Seward County in the best way that we can.
Yeah, and bring whatever talents you have to bear on that same problem, right? That's kind of, many different talents in service of the same goal. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate everything, and I thank you. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Collin. This episode of the Discover Seward County podcast was brought to you by Hughes Brothers, the Seward County Visitors Bureau, Union Bank and Trust, Pet Source, GBE, and Lincoln Premium Poultry.